Alrighty, I'm going to talk about the 72 wonderful students that I worked with over the past 3 months at what I will call Roosevelt Middle School. Um, there's a fully inclusive environment in our county, so no matter what disorder you have, whether it's ADD, autism, uh, or any type of other exceptionality, you will be in class. Sometimes you may have an aide or just certain IEP accommodations. So it's fully inclusive. I'll talk about that in a minute when I get to one of my periods. The student population itself was not the most diverse. I had 72 students, two of which were African American, three were Hispanic, and the rest were white. So not the most diverse population working there, but I ran with it and had a lot of fun. A bit about grades and academic performance. A third of them failed their SOL tests last year in history. Some by only a question or two, some as low as the 310s and 320s. So really been pushing hard to improve that performance this year. Have about a middle B average for the class, so not bad at all. It's on a 10-point scale. And yeah. So first period, I'll tell you a little bit about them. They were uh, really great, actually. Really good behavior, always fun to work with. It could be that their behavior was that good because it was at 7:35 in the morning and they were pretty tired. Um, but other than that, I affectionately called them my guinea pigs because they were the first class to see the lesson I was doing, and I could always improve or just ask for their feedback kind of towards the end, what I could work on. I had 5 IEPs in there that I had to accommodate for, and really just an overall good class that I always enjoyed teaching. Third period was also a lot of fun, but they were a bit more challenging. Definitely had some class clowns in there, a class that I was able to play around with more, but also had to keep their behavior in check at times, especially when Mr. James was out of the room. So that could get a bit tough at times, just talking and not working on what they were supposed to. Fifth period was the class that I would say was probably the most advanced academically, uh, but they were a challenge to work with behaviorally. It was after lunch, so they would come in either on a sugar high or just, I don't know. So tough to get control of them sometimes. And again, a class I really liked. You'll find that I didn't dislike any of my classes, so that was good. But like I said, the most advanced, so really worked hard to keep their interest high throughout class. In that class, we had a student with autism who cannot read or write and would run in and out of the classroom at times or just sit in the back and do nothing. So definitely an interesting population of students in that class. Which brings me to eighth period, which was a big challenge throughout the entire year. A class that even Mr. James has trouble with. But the thing is, the trouble with that class is almost a welcome one. They're the most inquisitive class I have ever seen. Constantly asking questions, very interested in the material, but they ask questions by blurting them out, constantly interrupting and distracting instruction. So, developed a method where if they had a question, they had to write it down, and once we came to a break, I would then allow them to ask questions because they would constantly interrupt the lesson. But it's a challenge that I really embraced because I hate turning away questions, especially when they're so interested, and it was a lot of fun with that class there. So that was kind of just the background of my students. Um, they hadn't used much technology in the classroom before. In the computer lab, mainly went there for SOL review quizzes, and Smartboard, not much interaction. I use Smartboard for a lot more interaction than they have before, like letting them come up and write on the board and that stuff. So that was a little bit about my students. Each and every one of them different and great in their own way, and I really had a great time working with them.